And we're back after game 2, 1-1 in the series. It is not a shutout. I don't think anybody expected that, but it has been a close one so far. We had the swingy game 1, game 2, a little more consistent performance, I'd say, from FlyQuest Challengers. But Destrix, you highlighted it well enough. Masu getting the resets in multiple fights there was big. Yuji also on the Lee Sin, still performing.
At those last, I think it was like 3 fights, Masu still had his flash up. So that shows you how well protected and how well positioned he was. Fear just couldn't get onto him.
Also, how he uses range. I think
Yes.
that how Masu's playing around range, we talk a lot about spacing as like being an important skill for marksman. In a meta where it's Aphelios Jinx, you're good at spacing, you're going to be able to take advantage of that. Masu outranged everyone that game and took real advantage of it. He played really well.
Yeah, especially the fight around, I don't remember if it was Baron or Herald, but I remember that there was the Aphelios kind of isolated. Masu gets gobbled up by Winsome, spat back out in front of everybody, and is still able to survive without burning that flash. So really well played by Masu, I think showing us why we're so hyped for him as a player. And we went into the day looking at the jungle as the kind of premier matchup that we wanted to focus on. I want to bring the conversation back to that before we get into our Rally Cry halftime show. Cubby, is this living up to the hype that we had set up, or do we think that we should pivot and say, nope, it's now about a different matchup?
I had a 3-1 coming in for FlyQuest. I thought the FlyQuest would gentleman sweep. So far, I feel like that's actually still pretty accurate, given that they lost the game. They should have won. So I think that the best matchup is jungle. I think it's had a really big impact. But also, I think mid is actually going to have a big impact moving forward, because I think mid jungle prio has really affected the bot lane. So look out for that in draft.
Also, remind me, because I forget, what is a gentleman's sweep?
3-1. They get again.
Oh, just 3-1. Okay, so you gentlemen's give
Handshake
one game
first.
over.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if it had to specifically be somewhere in there, like you give them game 3 because, you didn't want to just sweep them, give them 1. But okay, either way, it is 1-1 on the scoreboard. So we're going to take some time while the players get ready and recuperated for game number 3, pick and ban, to play a little game here. Fortune telling. This is one that Sierra likes to play, and I favor myself as a bit of a fortune teller as well.
Okay.
I gotta say,
Is it kind of like the 8-ball? You shake it and you just look at the top.
Yeah,
of
I was
your
gonna
head?
say, back in the day, we had this old bit where it was just rub my head with or Sir Butt Kick
Back in the
when I was
day?
called that. Yeah.
Still do it.
oh, that was
See
a
our
fun,
meetings.
fun bit we ran with Cup with the brain cream. That was fun.
Yep.
Now, what I will say is that I'm impressed that this time you stole a game that Sierra originally played, and then for the first game, you stole a game that I stole from you that hasn't been played so far, but then you played it for the first time. So I feel like you're being real original here to start.
It's too much color casting.
Hey,
follow.
bits belong to everybody that's running us through the shows. So the way this one works, fortune telling. Each of you is gonna pick a player that you want to go. We're gonna go one after the other, and I'm gonna pick up 2 cards, and then you're gonna have to read their fortune based on those 2 cards. Destrix, would you like to go first?
I would like to go first.
All right.
And
pick a player. Any of the players from that last game.
In the last game, you know what? Cubby was saying he was 3-1 FlyQuest. I'm actually 3-2 Fear, so I want to pick a Fear member.
Ooh.
I want to pick Trevor.
Okay. You're going to pick Trevor. All right. I'm going to draw 2 cards from the deck. Now, I drew these myself, so everyone go easy on me. So for Trevor, we have the Ocean and the Farm.
Why'd you pick 2 retirement places for Trevor? I feel like he doesn't want to retire yet. Just throwing that out there.
Well, the way to sway Destrix is, creativity now, but
yeah,
this is what we got.
You've given this to me, and this is fine. This is fine. I can work with this. How long do I got?
I'll give you 60 seconds.
All right,
30.
so
Whenever you want to finish it.
the Ocean, the farm, right? Think about it. When Thanos finished all his shenanigans, he just went back to the farm and chilled out a little bit. It's going to be the same thing with Trevor, just minus getting his head taken off at the start of the next movie.
I hope that.
And this is the thing, right? Cubby was talking about being the retirement home, about being, places you go when you're at the end of your career. What if he just made the Rift that? What if you're in his house right now? That is the big thing I see right now, because when he's looking at all these other players who are currently on the Rift, he's saying, "Get off my lawn!" And he chases them down with those death sentences, hooks every single one of them. He can chill out on the beach. He can have himself a grand time because he put in the work that made Fear look great, baby.
I didn't get a lot of how the rest of the series is going to go. It felt like a general life story
I forgot.
Trevor.
Yeah, I don't need to talk about it because it's just a blimp in his life and everything, and it's just
Fair enough.
it doesn't really matter. We're going past it. Fear's gonna win.
I think that the best way that I would interpret this is that he's going to utilize the champion Ocean to play the Senna Cho'Gath lanes, and then he's going to get all the fun.
Oh, actually, Senna hasn't won a game
out.
of this tournament. Fun fact.
I'm going to pull that out. Oh, interesting.
Senna's kind of been forgotten about.
All right, Cubby, it's over to you. Pick a player from either team.
Give me the potato salad. No, give me Philip. He was not included in the last game, so you know.
Philip. Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, so the 2 cards pulling for Philip. We got the Thief and the Carry. Ooh, okay. All right, so how's the rest of the series going to play out for Philip based on these 2 cards?
Okay. Well, the Thief. Philip, he's gonna steal an objective this series. Okay.
Okay.
That's the only thing that we can thief. I mean, he owes it because
Our hearts.
Fear did thieve game 1 away from FlyQuest, and a lot of that was FlySol. So Philip, you need to steal something this time.
All right.
The
like
Carry.
That. The Carry. Also, by the way, this is me and Deserix. The one on the back.
Have been highlighting Philip's ability to play Fiora and split push. And I still feel like we might see that emerge in this series. I feel like that's what the card is telling me.
Ooh.
Try to stay grounded with this one.
Okay, I like it. So maybe in this instance, it'll be a late game split push carry. You know, you fall behind early, but you steal the win
Fiora,
off of a carry. I like that. I like that. There we go. All right, so that's what Philip's gonna bring. That's what Philip's gonna bring. Let's do one more each. Deserix, pick another player.
Let's get. Well, I'm still staying fear-sided. Give me Faisal.
Okay. You're going Faisal.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna try and stay more to the actual theme of this time.
Sure.
Not just do the biography.
Faisal, we got the combo and the push.
Why is this a McDonald's meal?
Yeah.
Well, because it's a combo. I don't know. It's just like, how else are you gonna draw a combo on a card?
I mean, I know we're not supposed to show brands on stream, but you know.
I didn't put any logos on there. I drew this in like 15 minutes before going live.
Shout out to Rafa for getting me a coffee. Just,
True.
Give him the public service.
Okay. The push is gonna come from an Olaf pick. Eventually, it's gonna slip by because they're gonna be like, hey, we gotta ban the Thresh and Wukong this time. And Olaf just happens to get picked up. So he's gonna be pushing that top lane, pushing in the towers, toppling them over, going to the next one, taking money. What's the next card? I forgot what it was.
It was the combo.
And now that he's got all that money,
he's gonna afford.
It's time.
The 4-for-1 combo.
To get the 4-for-1 combo. And, cash in. You got to celebrate after your series, after your 5-game win. So, go get the combo after.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like many combos with Olaf that they could.
I mean, don't they get paid in combos? Or
that's wild card. That's wild card.
This team does get paid in combos. I think both of them. All right, we have just enough time for one more, Cubby. Are you ready?
Yeah. Give me Yuji.
Yuji. All right, this is Yuji.
Give me a 3-card one too. I feel like he's been smurfing.
We got the clouds and the moon.
3rd card. I requested a 3rd.
You want a 3rd card? All right. Clouds and the moon. And the herald.
Oh.
I got beautiful scenery.
Right? Yeah.
Yuji has been playing out of this world. All right. I'm over the moon with Yuji's play. It's going to continue.
Okay.
They're getting both heralds this next game. And if I don't see... Actually, I'm okay with the Viley Sin handshake, though. I will say. He's going to be kicking people to the clouds. I don't know. Or he plays Vi and he lifts people up to the clouds with the cease and desist.
I feel like there's a clear one here, Cubby. If they win, they're making all the way to finals to go up against Cloud9, baby. Ooh. They're the real contesters.
That's wrong direction.
That's intense. I respect it, though.
It goes beyond the series and into the tournament as a whole. Let's see if they can do it. Either team needs 2 more wins to get there, and we're ready for pick a ban. So we're not going to waste any more time. I'm going to pass it back off to the casters to get us into game 3.
You know, Cubby, you almost had it. You almost had it on that one. You lost me at the end there, but, it's all right. It's all right. Let's get into
How can I ever lose you, Deserux? You're stuck with me whether you like it or not. California
weather sometimes will make me disappear for a little bit.
I will say, I woke up and I didn't have internet this morning, and I kind of crapped my pants. We're gonna throw that one out there, but fortunately, we figured that out. And also, fortunately, we see a change. Okay. Viban.
What's
What's the play? Yeah, I mean, you have to ban Wukong if Vi's banned, like, especially. Okay. But what's the swap? Oh, they're going to take the Gragas for themselves. Okay, so that's the switch up for Fear.
Not getting locked in. I'm curious, when's the last time we've actually seen that played over by Fear's side? Jungle-wise, was it Faisal or has it been Perry?
Well, Perry played it in playoffs, but the most memorable thing for me, Faisal does love Gragas, and he played it against C9 when they did beat him in game 2. So this is a good flex pick. We'll see if Shochi can play it now. He hasn't shown it mid, but it's obviously a big flex pick for a lot of our teams. So we'll see if Shochi is maybe able to pilot that as well.
I don't know. Shochi's done some ridiculous stuff on some of the flexing that we've seen. The Cho'Gath was one of them. We saw the Yasuo in the C9 game as well that Shochi was willing to pull out. So you can see how much Fear are willing to flex this Gragas pick around the lanes. For FlyQuest, however, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Jinx and Lee Sin.
So Lee Sin into Gragas, you have to really get in Gragas' face early. It's a good matchup for Gragas because that body slam takes priority over the sonic waves. You can cancel it. Also the safeguard, and then you can use that to combos. So this is one where it's going to change up the jungle matchup if that does end up going there. If we wanted to get interesting on the side of Fear, we could switch things up, but I expect this to be just bot lane locked in, take the Thresh for Trevor. It's been so damn good, even in that second game. And then preserve the Gragas 3-way flex moving forward. No surprise, expect Tom Kench here as well, where if it is a Tom Kench, of course with Gragas, you can get a 2-for-1 special if you use that ult correctly.
Very, very true. We kind of saw shimmers of that in the last game when Winsome did get the Devourer pull in. But speaking of getting pulled in, well, you're going to go one way, you can pull him the other. Blitzcrank locked in for Winsome.
You get out of the 2-for-1 special with that, and now you have ways to cancel Gragas combo. You also have ways to play off of Lee Sin. This will give Jinx less safety, though, later in the game. So I think taking away some of that wombo could be good. And again, my eyes still go towards the Cassante. As you highlighted, Desterux, Yasuo was played by Shochi. So I think that taking that away when the Gragas is showing is good. But again, this still could be a top lane Gragas. I know Faisal does really like that pick. And I'm curious to see, again, what happens with Cassantes. I feel like that has been a big pick so far in this series.
Bans come through. Did mention that Yasuo one. The Ari one banned away. I mean, does provide a pretty good level of pick, so it would be fun for Spyrax to have that. Could get freed out of lane and follow through with the rest of the group. Get that next man onto the Renekton.
I will say, if Fiora is not banned here, I think that tells me that Fear actually do not want to play the Cassante. Because I think that's Philip's most comfortable matchup with the Cassante. It's been good, and he can use it to stretch the map again. Yeah, so actually no takeaway. I will say, maybe they're trying to protect the mid lane pick here. Ari and LeBlanc taken away, trying to prevent FlyQuest from maybe playing a little bit quicker. And I will say those are 2 counters into Talia. So if Spyrax actually does take this away, it combos well with the Lee Sin. See what else Fear has to answer that Talia.
I like that. Taking away those counter picks that can come through gives Spyrax much more freedom onto this map. The Weaver's Wall, I mean, just pairing it up with the Lee Sin means so much map movement potential that FlyQuest can have. If they want to take out a lot of these early roams, Talia does get locked in.
I gotta say, I don't know what the answer is going to be here for Shochi. I know his champ pool has been rather big, but they could go Jace mid. It's been a really big combo with the Gragas. Instead, it actually is going to be that Sejuani. That tells me it's likely going to... If I see Gragas and Sejuani on the side of Fear, I'm expecting that Gragas to actually be top and have that Sejuani be in the jungle. I know that there is some flexibility there, but then it's going to be the Yone against Talia. So that does win on the side lane or the side of Shochi. Do we see the Fiora taken here by Philip? It would be a skill matchup. If not, then we might see a Jax be the option. If Philip wants that against some split push, FlyQuest can really stretch the map.
I did say it was the combo, Cubby. Did say it was the combo.
Here we go. Well, we got it, and we do have our Fiora. As again, that wasn't that through. I did say that if Fiora's not banned, they're probably not looking to play Cassante, and it does look like Faisal is going to be playing that Gragas on the top side. Faisal is a really good Gragas player, and this will have to be the AP version of Gragas, given that you are in the Fiora, so building tank just doesn't make sense. That'd be dumb. But on the side of FlyQuest, I think that they're going to have the ability to stretch the map with Fiora and Talia, and then try and pinch Fear. So FlyQuest looking for a lot more skirmishes and pick this game, whereas Fear is still showing that big team fight. They have a side lane option in the Yone, but it is a little bit tough to pilot in Fiora, especially if she is able to get ahead in the Gragas lane.
And that's what I was going to say. On to the flip side is that if FlyQuest don't stretch Fear, then it goes into the 5v5 scenario, which Fear do really well in. Sejuani, very great at getting a lot of those teamfight engages, and Yone is good at following up onto that. Can't even start one of his own. So a lot of potential that you have coming out here for Cincinnati Fear. Definitely more definitive identities coming from both of these squads and the win conditions they want to do. Now, before we do head into this, Rafa wanted to know, why are you muting so much while we're on the champion select, Cubby?
Oh, don't. What do you mean? There's nothing going on, Deserux.
Said the sounds coming through his walls and whatnot.
It's definitely not the roommates, being too loud. It's definitely not it.
Well, you know what? I want them to be loud because we need to be loud for this game that's coming up right now. We've already hit the best of 5 area. Both of these have gone 1-1 apiece in the first 2 games. So now, best of 3 is all that awaits these 2 squads.
I think that, again, this identity for FlyQuest fits the good things that we've seen them do throughout this tournament. And I think the things that have gotten them to this state. Again, FlyQuest is a team now 15-4 since Winsome has joined. And now Winsome, actually, I will say, a little bit of a different champion for him this time around. This will be on the Blitz.
I'm always pretty excited to see the Blitz. It can get into, like, Feast and Famine territory in some cases, but man, big potential's always there. Play the Fog of War in the same way that FlyQuest like to play it, which is with a lot of deep vision, a lot of deep counter vision. The threat of that rocket grab is going to be a lot for Fear to handle.
I think it's the first Blitz, too, for Winsome this split, so I like the fact that FlyQuest, again, busting out more champs in their pool even later into the split. I think that's a really good sign from them, as we will have a curious clear coming out from Perry here. He's going to start up on the Wolves and rotate out some of his camps first. This will be, very early heal burned.
Yeah, rocket grab coming out from Winsome, so Minui focuses right onto Masu. But it is enough, as you said, to get that heal. Trade of 1 for 2 when it comes to summoners. Ignite going to be burnt away from Winsome on top of that.
So this clear for Perry, I think he's going to try and rotate out his camps heavily. But it's curious to me that he's actually going to be rotating out the top side camps first on this side of the map. This does mirror one of the clears that we're seeing a lot right now, where you do this with the Raptors and the Krugs, which favor the AoE more. What it does open up is that Perry could match the Dragon timer on the second clear of camps. So a lot of priority on that. Of course, on the bot side, where I will say I do expect Minui and Trevor to have a little bit of push in this matchup around that time. So I think it's going to be really key for the side of Fear.
Of course, a little shout out to our observers right there. Showing Spyrax placing that ward. At the same time, Perry, a little bit after that, does show up. So that's a lot given over to Yuji, who instantly hops onto that information to go for an invade.
He's going to see Perry go to the Krugs too. Or, oh my god.
Oh, he predicted it and catches Perry. It's a chunk of damage, but it's enough to send Perry back, and Yuji will win out on the counter jungle.
Well, the bot lane is rotating up here, so you just have to respect that as Trevor is trying to save him. The ward is drop spotted, so Fear trying to protect Perry. This does get Masu ahead, though, and he can shove in this lane to try and force Fear to answer. So Yuji just running interference early, and it does get Masu ahead.
Delay the red buff clear for Perry, but ultimately he's still able to get it. Did take a big chunk of damage onto that, and Yuji is watching where Perry's going, putting on that pressure that the early Lee Sin can put.
So first crab, and again delayed. I will say Perry is going to be ahead in his clear. And again, what he can do here is he can reset, take the top crab, and then return to rotating out his camps. And I think the big timer is that Dragon timer. We've seen each team attempt Dragon as it spawns around that 5-minute mark, about 5:30. So a bot trial will be really important for that. And we'll see if Fear can set up the rest of the map to make sure they're able to hit that. Because again, the way that Perry's clearing tells me he wants to hit that, but actually I say that now Perry, off his first reset, he is sprinting straight bot. So he's skipping over those 2 camps that he set up for him to take earlier, because he thinks that Yuji did the same on the top side. He can hit this timer first. There is going to be a ward, and now Perry. Uh-oh.
Oh, no, it's a little bit too soon. Winsome forces the situation, but Trevor says, I got a hook, too. Perry shows up, one more auto to be found.
God.
Masu wants to find the flip, but it's a Double kill for Minui.
Perry skips over his camps. He hits the timer. Now Yuji, how frisky does he want to get in the 1v whatever? Yeah, he's going to have to escape. So Perry, what a big play from him. Again, playing towards his bot lane. His win con, he's on the Sejuani. He's okay setting himself behind. But that's huge for the bot lane of Fear, as Minui now has 2 kills, and Perry can just return to his camps and try and set up the dragon as the bot lane's return.
What a playmaker. Perry showing up into that bottom lane, but Trevor surviving that initial hook on top of it. That's a big swing of momentum for this bottom lane, both Minui and Trevor. Huge. And it's going to feel great for them, especially Nephelios. You know, the late game stages this champion can get to.
It's so huge because, I mean, if Fly's allowed to just play out this map state, Masu resets first, and then they have priority for the dragon. So Perry skipping over his camps is actually able to break this. Trevor baits him into a fight, and Perry's here just in time to answer. And he manages to get 2 kills and trade him out. Masu didn't have a trinket available to try and keep hitting Minui in the brush. Thanks to Observers. That was a really nice vision toggle. That's why Masu couldn't get that last auto in. And again, big deal. Marksman advantage. Minui needs that.
This fight over the Raptor camp. Perry
wins.
Will win out and be able to steal away from Yuji. Look at this. Minui under some threat. We'll be able to get the snare underneath the tower and chunk out a little bit more damage while Trevor finds his room.
That chunk could be enough on the next wave where, again, Fear could get shoved and try and play for the dragon as Perry has returned to his Raptor camp. This is a wave where I feel like Fear could think about starting the dragon, as Winsome is going to be forced to reset off that attempted dive, and now Fear can build up a slow push and guarantee that they are able to get the dragon. It's Trevor.
Oh, what a beautiful hook from Trevor! The follow-through from Minui. It did not get the flash. Masu was able to save it.
Should be drag. Yuji's trying to break that, as he will force the ult out of Shochi. That said, it still is dragon started. The bot lane does have to rotate up, though, to support Perry. Don't know how low the dragon is. Is at about half. Yuji could get frisky again here if he wants to fish around.
Yuji.
Oh, this is big. They could find a fight.
Gotta beware. Perry will be able to secure the dragon. Yuji missing out, but the hook's not gonna miss, and that's a pick onto Minui.
That still is big, and then topside, Phil finds a solo kill on the FlySol. So just like that, FlyQuest answer back. They do lose out on the objective, but that could be big for setting up the Rift Herald next.
Now picks going. One above, one below.
This game's so fast.
FlyQuest, and I'm just wondering what the next play is going to be. I mean, Winsome right there was eyeballing Trevor, kind of shoving him into that wave. But now we get a moment to reset. Now we get a moment to breathe. FlyQuest have been one of the better teams in their development, taking this squad, being able to come together as a team, follow through on a lot of their decision making, and now we're seeing it work across the map.
Take a second look. Oh, the body slam after he saw the parry. That's a mistake from Faisal as he was trying to get out. Caught the hitbox, and Philip finds the solo kill as Philip. Definitely a player that I think had his struggles earlier in the split, but Philip has really scaled nicely and been a big part of FlyQuest's resurgence. I know that Masu and Winsome, being on this team has been what has been credited the most for FlyQuest's success. But that doesn't mean that the top side, I feel like, hasn't stepped up, as Yuji's been insane in playoffs. Philip, I think, has been doing his job and more. And we've just had FlyQuest scaling as a team, off the back of Masu and Winsome being here as well.
Long road
Here comes the trade.
for Yuji and the performance we've been seeing come out of him, the development that we've had over the past year. This has been leaps and bounds, and now Cincinnati Fear on the opposite end of the map will find the Rift Herald for themselves to try and get a play back.
I had this slide in my PowerPoint of a very similar game state. Fly will drop Herald, especially on red side, where it's easier to answer by taking away the bot side camp. So look at the rotation already from FlyQuest. They're going to try and go for a Talia play on the bot side. Now Perry, props to him. He is immediately based. He's already here for the answer. Really good play from Perry, and it might actually take away the angle for Fly, is now Yuji.
Ultimate comes out from Shochi. Yuji almost had the angle right there. Wasn't able to get the Dragon's Rage in time to kick Shochi back, so Shochi will survive. Perry showing up over towards that bottom side, and it does stop a lot of what FlyQuest were just setting up.
No, that's a really big play coming out from Shochi, honestly, because it pulls the flash from Yuji and also distracts Fly. I love Perry. I think that's some good scouting, some good research by Fear, because FlyQuest in this tournament, on red side, they will run Talia and run that play to take away resources from the enemy marksman. Fear actually played really good defense in that instance to make sure that that was not available for FlyQuest. And now Fear, they have Herald in Sejuani's pockets. They saw Lee Sin cross to the top side, so Perry could go drop it on this wave if he wants to feed that Aphelios.
He is eyeballing over towards that side, and the wave is shoved in, as you had just mentioned. See, Perry around the corner. Trevor and Minui, a very dangerous duo in the NACL when it comes to the bot lane. They're looking to take down Masu. Ultimate comes out. A chunk onto Winsome. It's not enough to get a kill. Will still get a plate over to Minui as Fear put the pressure bot-sided.
Perry's still hanging around. Can't afford to do this, but now Yuji is here to answer as Yuji has rotated out his camps. So Perry... Oh, he might get a find, actually. Big
Hook comes out. It's on to Winsome. Winsome's already down. 2v3. Masu still tries to step up. Because look in the mid lane, look in the river. Spyrax positioning over there, but it's too late.
And they were trying to go for a play, trying to answer the rift because Perry did show bot, but Trevor is the difference maker once again. When are we going to see this Thresh banned? It's been such a problem in this series, man.
And it's resulting in Minui getting even more fed as the Rift Herald does crash in. That's a lot more gold onto this Aphelios, who is already 3-1-0, Cubby.
Oh, Minui really does have the opportunity to try and drive this game home. I know against C9 game 2, Minui felt like it was really on him to carry, that he dropped the ball for his team. Again, this game, I think it's on Minui to carry this one. He's 3-1-0. He's up against the Jinx. On the Aphelios, I think that this would be a good opportunity for Minui to kind of overcome himself and do what he wasn't able to do against C9 as he's trying to help Fear get to the next part of the tournament.
It was a marksman that was constantly criticized, as Winsome lands a hook right there just to be a menace. That being said, the interview that I talked about earlier with Perry, he was so adamant in gassing up Minui and how much he's been doing, how much he's been developing and working on his play work, stated that he's not always a main character, but he's capable of taking in that role, and he's going to be taking it in this game.
FlyQuest again. So that delay on the base for Perry, it does open up a window for them to try and get into the bot side. As FlyQuest, they still really want to deny Minui. Of course, a lot of this game coming down to each of our marksmen, and Minui very far ahead right now as he has completed the Gale Force that will make a dive even more difficult. As Fly trying to position, they do find a couple members of Fear, but they can't hook the Sejuani. I think that Gragas Flex was really good for Fear. I mean, Sejuani can really neutralize at least into this stage of the game. Perry's played it pretty well, I will say, the split. And this is just going to open up the Dragon Timer off red-white for Aphelios off the item advantage, and Fear playing this game out really soundly.
Yuji trying to step up towards the river. I mean, FlyQuest know this is happening, but there's not a thing they can do about it. It'd be way too much of a threat to try and position into Fear when you do have a Sejuani and Thresh just waiting to engage on you. So, second Dragon found by Fear. Old lead going to also be found by Fear. I'm going to be looking for Yuji to make the next play, and they are doing some pings over towards this bottom side. Free up Spyrax, maybe get 4 players of FlyQuest to try and find a response, but you got to find one quick because Masu's already under attack. He does have his flash available, but I don't think he gets away from this.
No.
Minui will chase him down and get the kill, but Spyrax is here. Seismic Shove goes off, and that works. Earth does a lot of damage to Fear. Perry left by his lonesome will take one more down with him. Arctic Assault gets caught by the Seismic Shove. A double kill for Spyrax.
Okay, while all that's going on, though, Shochi is getting plates mid. Minui was able to trade out on offense. It's a 2-for-2, and I think Fear went out of the map as FlyQuest did commit more members. But Yuji, I gotta say, that was a big follow-through on the Sonic Wave from Yuji as he actually found Minui after he took that Lantern. That was really good. And again, at least they get Minui off the map, but it's not as much as Fly wanted.
They were still able to respond to what would have been a little bit more devastating, but look at this, Shochi, able to recall back from the rocket grab of Winsome.
Yeah, nice fist there from Winsome, making sure that Shochi could not find Yuji in the jungle, as he's going to take his camps, get back in, take another look. Winsome's late on the reset after FlyQuest were looking for plays in the bot side. So Masu, it's a good sidestep, but he's still got to walk through the slow field. Nice flash commit from Trevor. And now, and it's just a 3v3. Spyrax is big in this fight. Watch Yuji, though, after the Lantern. Yeah, because he kicks, and then he still gets around Perry to find the Sonic Wave. Really big. It was stunned. Perry did his best to play this out and actually escape. It was actually pretty close. He did sidestep the Sonic Wave, but Spyrax a little bit too big on the Talia in this game.
Yuji's cracked on Lee Sin. That was beautiful.
He's been pretty damn good this series, man. I said coming in, him and Mir have been the 2 best junglers in playoffs. I really do stand by that. I think both these guys have been incredible. Would be a great top 4 matchup, but Fear right now, they're the ones that are ahead of this game 3 and trying to make sure it's them that get the honor of facing Mir and Team Liquid.
I will say this Taliyah has been a pretty solid response to the Thresh, that unraveled Earth with the Lantern. If you saw, Minui had to go through all of that, taking damage right before he ate the Dragon's Rage. So Spyrax positioning that doesn't just work on the Lantern, works on the Soul Unbound as well. There's so many things that Fear have to watch out for when it comes to that Earth.
Herald traded out for bot outer as FlyQuest. They're going to try and take control of this bot side jungle too. Shoshi actually might be caught as he is spotted here on the bot side. Okay, going to make it around to the Raptor pit. FlyQuest just looking to get this. It will be first brick in favor of them, but it is Herald. We'll see if FlyQuest actually rotates to protect Minui here. They could drop this immediately and play for mid, yeah.
Look at the back end though. Winsome and Yuji kind of rotating up here. They have to protect Masu, who will be under attack. I mean, Fear have shown they're not shy to dive Masu if they feel opportune enough. The Rift Herald will crash over to the second tier tower over in the mid lane, but look at Cincinnati Fear. They're rotating the resources over to fill up.
Good.
Ghost has been popped, so is the Lantern. Flayed right back into death sentence. Trevor will not let Philip go. Will condemn him to his death and get the kill.
I mean, there are a million things to parry there, but he didn't parry the first. They stacked it on beautifully. Philip falls, and I love how Fear... we saw FlyQuest play the bot side of the map for the last couple minutes in trade for the Herald. So I love when Fear, they shift their power up to the top side where they had strong side because they just took that Herald and they get more off the play.
And so much being cashed in right now. That standing gold that was on the map. We got one tower in the mid lane. We got another tower over in the top side, both for Cincinnati Fear. And now they've gotten themselves a 2K gold lead at 16 minutes.
ISL should be okay here on the Gragas. But we're going to come down to the Dragon here. It is Soul Point for the side of Fear. I want to see if FlyQuest decide to play this. Because Philip, he does have that top outer that he could take for himself. And again, Philip, he is the one that can break Fear's team fight, just given the split pushing. No one can match him as we move throughout this game. So I'm kind of curious what the decision is here for FlyQuest, because Philip does not have TP, and he's going to commit to this wave. So Fly have to find a skirmish, or they get nothing.
Looking at where FlyQuest are positioned. That deep vision, once again, all over the river. Control wards on both ends. They have an opening to go after Shochi, but he's able to dash out. Shochi not caught out.
That's a big commit. Yeah.
Look at Cincinnati Fear. They're looking for the collapse, Cubby.
Masu's not linked up with a team, so if Fear want to collapse, there is still a turret here. Spyrax is doing his best to get out. Okay, so we will be enough to play defense. It still is the Dragon going down. We can't see Philip on the top side. He will get that turret, so that has been the trade this entire time from FlyQuest. I think each team playing to their win cons rather nicely here, as Fly, again, are looking for skirmishing and looking to stretch the map. Fear want the team fight. Good defense by Shoshi, but Fear get the objective and take that Soul Point.
Soul Point, which is going to put more pressure later on for FlyQuest, as they need to get quite a bit more before this next Dragon is going to come up, because this is Cincinnati Fear, who do like to team fight, and they've drafted for the team fight. So FlyQuest, they need that income and they need that setup. Otherwise, Soul will go over to Cincinnati Fear.
It is a Soul that they can benefit from as well, somewhat. I mean, Shochi and Minui will feel pretty decent with that Chemtech Soul. I don't think Chemtech's the strongest. I think the plants are stronger than the Soul itself. But let's throw something interesting in there, as now we get a preview of the Fiora versus Yone matchup in the side, and also Winsome, he's dead again.
Yeah, Winsome's going down. You don't even need the death sentence. Lantern comes out. That is A-OK for Fear. We'll take down the support and continue getting control of the Rift.
I gotta give it to Fear. I think the Blitzcrank, they've had a good answer to it with the Sejuani flex. It's been really annoying for the side of FlyQuest to deal with the Spyrax.
Flash from Spyrax. He got out of the explosive cast looking for the slow, but Spyrax will rock his world. It's going to be a pick found. Pick returned as Shochi looking for the ultimate. Looks to pop it.
Spyrax.
Oh, still going after Spyrax. Spyrax beautiful with the seismic shove. Has bought time for Philip to come in with the teleport. Getting knocked up, but it's not enough to stop Philip's momentum.
Spyrax, he said he wanted to face his Maryville alum in part in APA, and he's doing everything he can in this game to make sure that comes true. He's really the one thing keeping FlyQuest in this, as a big play in the side lane gets FlyQuest both soul laners from Fear, and they can maybe use this to snowball into mid-outer. Spyrax does have the Weaver's Wall if he wants to get involved again. But instead, they're just going to use that time to split the map and take more resources away from Fear as they're going to even up this gold lead.
Evened right down the center, Cubby. What in the world is this series? Every single game, we haven't had it just going strongly in one way. Usually it's a team fighting back. Both of these teams feel so evenly matched with each other. Now Perry in the jungle doesn't realize Winsome's too far off as well. We'll still go for the chase onto Yuji, but Masu has claimed that mid lane tower, which means gold is getting onto this Jinx.
Masu's still pretty far behind, though. As you can see, the Infinity Edge is wrapped up for Manui. That's going to be real big in Fear. Actually, they're just going to start up this objective. They're tired of getting pulled around by FlyQuest. They want to take this game into their own hands. They feel like they're still in control. It's a 1K gold lead now for FlyQuest, but if it's grouped up, I still very much favor Fear. They're going to force FlyQuest to play their game.
Fear have a great 5v5, but they are going to take a little bit coming out from the Baron itself as Perry taking it up. Here comes Death's End to take a line onto Masu. They need to kill Masu. Masu runs low, and there it is, the explosive cast from Faisal will take down the marksman. Philip hops in, going for the grand challenge onto Minui. Minui trying to survival dash forward, and down goes Minui. Yuji ups in. He's able to take one. Yuji ups back, but here comes Shoji onto Yuji, and we'll slice and dice some into pieces. Now Faisal, the two solo lanes of Cincinnati Fear, need to do all the work in the world to stop Spyrax, who's been a star in this game number 3. One more cleave, and it's enough for Cincinnati Fear to get the ace.
Fear get the win. Masu thought he could dodge out on the death sentence with Ghost, but it was not enough as the death sentence connects from Trevor. They take down the Jinx first, and Fear wins out in the fight in the long haul.
Goodness gracious, Cincinnati Fear. What a drawn-out fight coming from them. We got to take another look at this one. We were saying 5v5 for Cincinnati Fear is what they want.
Yeah, so ignore the summoner spells from Masu. He's going to pop Ghost here. He gets hooked. He's then going to flash out after and get dunked by the cast. If he flashed the death sentence, I know that you really want to hold that, especially in this comp, but I think he needs to there as he was up against the wall. A beautiful death sentence again, game-changing from the side of Trevor. And props to Philip, who finds the Fed Masu in the back half on his own. That's the only reason this fight's close for the side of FlyQuest, but Shochi ends up cleaning it up. Love how aggressive Shochi is here. And after that, Faisal is like, all right, yeah, okay, I guess we can do this, man. Shochi just took someone else out on his own. Maybe we can actually win this fight. Good side steps by Ferry at the end, too, to make sure that this connects, but I think each team find good executes there onto the marksman. Props to both, mostly Philip and also Trevor, for making sure that each fight started off clean. But Fear, it went out in the end. They want to play the 5v5, and Fear, I think, are going to continue to force onto FlyQuest. And they have Dragon Soul on the table for them now to try and do so.
Philip's still pushing those side lanes, though. Yep. FlyQuest are trying to play for that win
no
condition.
TP.
They want to stretch Cincinnati Fear. Someone has to reply.
He's got no TP, so you can see FlyQuest on the map right now. It's 8 seconds before this dragon spawns. They're all already going to Baron. Faisal is going to base. He doesn't have TP either. This will open things up for FlyQuest to actually start this, but Masu's stuck in mid. They're going to give away the soul. What else can FlyQuest get?
Oh, yeah. FlyQuest, they threw out the rocket to go check what was going on with the dragon, but this is done already. Cincinnati Fear have this locked down. Yuji, you are too late.
Now, Faisal doesn't have TP. Philip can be first to the play. Do we see a Weaver's Ball from Spyrax? Here we go.
Wait, is this a turnaround? Minui took the lantern, but it took him into the fight. That's the wrong direction. And now FlyQuest look to take it back as they'll claim 2 back-to-back. Philip onto Faisal. Will cleave him away with the rapier, but the barrel goes down, and now the objective is not the Drake. It's not the fight. It's Baron.
This is what FlyQuest has been doing so well in the tournament. It has been stretching teams across the map and forcing mistakes out of teams as Manui, he was caught in the pit, gets caught by all of FlyQuest with the thrown at him, and now Spyrax, they're going to get this Baron for free. There's no contest from Fear, so it is a trade. Again, I don't think this is the strongest soul in the world for Fear, and with this Baron, Deserux, you got to believe we're at least getting 1 Elder Dragon to spawn in this game. Probably 2, maybe 3. Who knows?
We definitely are. We definitely are. We're in it for the long day, Cubby. We're not going to bed until midnight. This is gonna be a hell of a series. It has been a hell of a series, and now with FlyQuest getting the momentum that they were able to, it's Baron versus Soul.
Now we get to find out if Mad Magical is truly correct in saying a soul's a soul. That's what we're gonna boil this game down to. No, I think each team, I want to credit each team. I think they are playing their win cons rather well in this game. And that's why I love when two different styles of compositions clash, right? We've had matching styles the first few games, right? Like champions that do somewhat similar things, some handshakes. This time around, we get different clashing styles. I think we're really seeing how well FlyQuest can play as a team. This is a more difficult to execute composition on the side of FlyQuest than just the 5v5 team fight. Really careful about how you play around the map. I think Fly's doing so decently well, but Fear, like the ways that they're pressuring and picking fights and pulling FlyQuest to them, I also think has been really good. So it's been a really fun back and forth.
And you can see FlyQuest still playing that condition right now, as they're not just playing to a single lane, they dance around between both the mid and the bottom, waiting for the slip-up to be found out of Cincinnati Fear, where they can pick off someone like Perry, for example, where they've denied the smite multiple times. And even there, Faisal throwing out an explosive cast to check that brush. That's another cooldown going to be burnt by Cincinnati Fear.
Fortunately, Fear fishing there. Faisal maybe taking a sip too much of that cask before he threw out the big one. As Still Fly just going to be able to play around for chunks, utilize the space that Talia can create, and utilize this Baron. It's still a really nice setup for Fly, and they're going to get quite a bit of standing gold. That's the last inner turret they had to knock down. I think it's going to be really tough for them to knock down inhibitor turrets. They don't want to extend that far on the map, so I think this is where the Baron push ends. It's just going to play for camps at this point. It's going to be all about that Elder, man. Elder's going to spawn before Baron, and that's what this game's coming down to.
That should be the last big fight. That's the team fight timer. Look at it, top left of your screen.
We might get more big fights after that. There are a lot of objectives standing, man. I don't know if a team can even finish with Elder right now.
Well, it's at least a team fight timer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
A very notice. And it's 3 minutes until that does come up. There it is again. Very, very deep vision being established by FlyQuest in both sides of the jungle. So it's very dangerous territory for Cincinnati Fear to have to traverse.
I think for Fear, at this point, I mean, I usually don't like talk about Talia carries, but given the shorter range composition of Fear and how damn fed Spyrax is in this game, and how really important Spyrax has been to getting FlyQuest back into this game, we got to keep our eyes on this Talia Desirux.
Yeah. We have to keep a very close watch on it, because Spyrax, 7, 1, and 2. 3 items are completed, one of those being a death cap. He's an absolute menace on it. He's an absolute beast on it. Has been improving from year to year to year to year, all the way back from Maryville University. You can go back to like Supernova, and this iteration of him, at least in terms of stepping up for what exactly that FlyQuest need in this current situation, it has been fantastic for this game number 3, and it's gotten him in such a strong lead.
I mean, deep breath now, 90 seconds away. Again, big advantage here for FlyQuest. I think we're going to see Philip. He's trying to, push bot lane out. I think the big read for what FlyQuest wants here, does Philip go top on this reset? Because that's where Philip and FlyQuest can, again, stretch that map and really put Fear in this bind where it's like, all right, you got to pressure Elder here, in the next few waves, or else we're going to take significant objectives on the top side. And you can see Philip, yeah, he's sprinting towards the top side. So again, FlyQuest, they want to stretch the map, make sure that Fear, or at least if they opt into a 5v5 FlyQuest, they're opting in because they're able to find the skirmish initial burst, or they feel like they have a better map position because of how they're playing sides.
1 more minute, and Elder Drake will be there.
Look at Winsome. He built QSS.
Ah. You know what?
It's been useful in the last game, I will say. I like QSS and Tom Kench.
It kind of looks like a bandana, so it just sells the moment to me.
Oh.
So it's kind of like Rambo Winsome.
I mean, I guess he's got, Yuji looking for the crane kick on his team. Just needs more bandanas around it, right?
We're going like Steven Seagal here.
Sure. Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? At the moment, Philip trying to go sicko mode on the top side. I do know that, as he's going to win that match against Gragas. Now, Fear. It's blue-purple from Inuit. It's a big focus on the peel. They're going to take the chunk. That's it. They're just going to take a chunk.
Yeah. It's a hook on the parry, but it's only the chunk, as you had mentioned just before.
They did get Glacial Prison.
Right. It got the Glacial Prison.
Yeah.
Shirelius was used as well, so a little less movement speed to that regard, but that is a big engage burnt away from Cincinnati Fear.
It still was Mogs, though, for parry, and they have to start this up again, because if they don't, Philip on the side lane is going to be okay. Is TPs available for both of our top laners? Philip did pop Ghost, though, to try and pressure the side lane, Okay. Oh,
hook it. Stop.
Unlucky.
Trevor's not going to go in. Oh, look at Shochi go. Wants to find Winsome. Not able to get it. Yuji waiting to hop in. Yuji going in. Yuji with the kick. Gets it on the Minui. Yuji's going to give his life for the cause, but more than happy to take the marksman of Cincinnati Fear. Masu, no reset just yet. Doesn't get the sap onto Trevor. Parries over the wall. And this has stopped the Elder Drake of Cincinnati Fear as Philip still pushing in the top lane.
So low. Philip's really low, though. FlyQuest, he wins the war of attrition, so Philip can't push anymore. I think FlyQuest can't stick here. Perry has the Mogs. Masu's going to try and deny vision, but this is a really tricky game state. Okay, Winsome's going to find Perry.
Oh, Perry's in. Perry wants Winsome. Going through, looking for more. Masu's on the back end. Faisal has arrived. Philip is going for the back door. Wants to continue grabbing that inhibitor. Elder Drake's going to be secured. Here comes another death sentence from Trevor. Oh, rocked by Spyrex. Elder Drake secured by Fear, and Masu falls. What in the world is going on? We got more action because Spyrex able to flash away from the ultimate parry. Faisal still with the chase right now. Things slowing down, but Fear might not want to push the brakes just yet. They want to grab Spyrex. Pings are coming out from Cincinnati Fear, but Yuji is reading it and now walking over to try and defend the mid lane. Spyrex
here.
It's a long walk. It's going to be 2 versus 1. Pushed out of the way with the explosive cast. It's not enough for a sonic wave. You need a whole army to deal with Cincinnati Fear.
It's going to be the Baron going over to Fear, and Fear again in the late game scenario. I mean, Minui died first in that fight. How is Fear actually able to pull things together and pull this off? It's Faisal again in the late game on the Gragas. Was able to actually step up, zone out Masu, and I think Fly made a big mistake by trying to stick to that Elder Dragon. Just pull away, let Philip do his job, reset, find the same scenario on the map. But no, FlyQuest, they push, they buy the time for Fear, who show up with the TPs, take the Elder, now have the Baron, and let's see how much Fear can get.
They got it all. It was a jackpot netted up for Cincinnati Fear, and it feels good right now. Everything working into their favor. The Baron buff, the Elder Dragon, 31 minutes into this. They are pushing these waves. They are trying to get the state back into their favor. They know how to claw back from the brink, and they're going to bring it in FlyQuest's game number 3.
And the only thing that can stop this now is Philip stretching the map on his side. They do have top lane super creeps down. So you can see Philip has shifted into the bot side. He's going to be careful, though, because Fear can just play 2 lanes. Shochi can't really respond, but okay.
Oh, Perry, that's the ultimate right there on the Yuji. Explosive cast goes out. That damage onto Spyrex was massive.
Spyrex is forced to reset. He was like 2 ticks away from burning. So that is mid inhibitor falling. You got to believe they're going to go to top inhibitor again. And Philip, he doesn't have TP. He's not going to join. Philip's just going to be sticking it to the side lane. Fear will get 2 inhibs off this. The real question is, can they end? Can they actually force Nexus turrets? Because Elder is going to be close to expiring here. I think this might be the last wave that they actually have Elder.
All right, Weaver's Wall goes out. Shochi going for the back line, finds it onto Winsome. It's a chunk of damage, but it's enough to pull FlyQuest away from that inhibitor.
Oh, they stopped the recall. That was a nice rocket from Masu. That's an inhibitor going down for Philip, and now Fear, they have to head to the hills. They need the base while they have the recall, Baron recall. So Philip gets 2 inhibs, actually save one of their own. FlyQuest, that rocket from Masu was big, as again, Philip gets to stretch the map. Fear, they commit to the 5-stack. I think that's the right response for them because they lose the war of attrition in the bot lane. They had no TP from Faisal. They had Elder to force, but FlyQuest survived. And this is why I thought we're getting multiple Elders in this this game, Deserux. This sure feels like that's where we're heading. Oh, wait, hold on, Masu. Hold on.
Let's see, Masu. Masu, be careful. Don't walk into that direction. Perry awaits. Oh, Masu feels like something's up right now. Oh, Masu, please.
Oh,
please don't go.
Masu.
Oh, wait, he does not have flash. He does not have flash, Cubby. Masu goes down.
Fear, you got to believe that's going to be another inhibitor from Fear. And look at Fly immediately. Everyone basing. Spyrex gone from the top lane. Fear. I don't think they can push for Nexus turrets. I'm going to be honest. Sochi did just reset with Faisal. I don't think they get 1 here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 versus 4. It's not going to happen.
They got to fix the sides.
That wave over in the top side shoved so far deep, and you sent both of your solo laners over there to respond to it, and immediately Philip sees that, heads towards the bottom lane to set up another wave.
Yeah, I think the play there from Fear was to actually, after that kill, just take one side of the jungle, take control, reset, and then return there. Because again, you have to fight 2 side lanes that have super minions coming from FlyQuest. That's the toughest. That's a really tough game state to be in. So at least if Fear were able to control one side of the map, they could return to it and then have Shochi deal with the other one on the weak side, which would be top. But at the moment, Fear could have laid the groundwork to set up that dragon. Instead, they don't. They try and hit the next turrets. That's to no avail. So now FlyQuest, they actually get to at least take control of their bot side jungle. And it's going to be Elder number 2, baby. Thought it was going to go there, Deserex. And now? Yep. That's where we're at.
We're in the thick of it, Cubby. A minute 30 before that Elder does come down. And another team fight timer awaits. FlyQuest, they're getting the better in a lot of these map movements. As you said, they're splitting the map thin for Fear. Philip has been great in making his presence felt over on these side lanes. You know, we had a lot of criticisms about Philip, especially when he got pulled up to LCS, but now he's exceeding these expectations on a whole different level, Cubby.
Again, I think FlyQuest, obviously, you know, they credit most Winsome joining and Masu going from 90 ping to, you know, whatever they're playing on now. But it's not like the other members haven't improved. Again, UG has been a freak in playoffs. Spyrax has been a freak in this game. And Philip, he's gone from being a liability in the top side to now being a big part of this team, whether he's on the tanks or on the split pushers.
And right now, he's going to be a big menace to Cincinnati Fear's plans. You can see right there, recall already done by Faisal to match what Philip is doing right now. He keeps shoving in these waves, guiding them in, and even with that inhibitor up, it's always going to be at threat with Philip.
20 seconds, so you can see all the control that Fear still has. Philip hasn't been able to push through that side lane quite yet, Deserex. So Fear going to feel very confident. And the real answer for me, how fast does Fear start this objective? Because they have total control at the moment. And can Fly even get in? Because at the moment, they're still in the middle of mid lane. They have a blue trinket from Spyrax to check. They have a Jinx rocket if they really need to check. Here, you got to believe they're going to pull this instantly, knowing that Fiora in the side lane is a thing. And yeah, okay, they denied the blast gun too. That's good.
Okay, this sentence lands onto Yuji, and they flip onto Yuji! Masu gets chased, but it's already one pick gonna go through. Yuji is able to escape. Under attack is gonna be the Elder Drake. Not able to secure it. It's gonna go the way of Cincinnati Fear, but the fight continues. Faisal looking to use the teleport, able to go golden to try and get away. We'll look to escape this. Now Spyrax on one end, Minui on the other. Weaver's wall goes out. Escape gonna be found by Spyrax, and things simmer down. Fights so close, turning on a dime, turning on a nail, and it's going to be a 1-4-2 in favor of Cincinnati Fear.
Shochi got both stopwatches out in that fight. That was so big. It delayed Spyrax. Masu did go untouched. Okay, Philip's able to get out with the Empowered Blast Cone. Oh boy, my heart's starting to beat fast here, Deserex. This should be the Baron falling again for Fear. As FlyQuest, it feels like Philip, he did get that top inhibitor again. He can't even TP bot to answer, though, because the Baron and Power recalls and FlyQuest aren't on the map to answer. So, again, I think some of the options starting to go to the wave side for FlyQuest is Fear. They can use the Baron to reset their waves and try and get the death push that they need.
What a performance out of Cincinnati Fear.
Oh, this game's so tense.
And Philip trying his best over in the side lanes, but Fear taking these fights.
Wait for the minions, Perry.
Forcing FlyQuest's hand. Now they might walk into the hand of FlyQuest. Winsome. Rocket grab does not land.
They have Elder. They can force.
Oh, Perry looking for the force. Wants to find out on Spyrax, who will go right through the wall, but Winsome's already fallen. It's going to be a trade.
Look at Masu.
Winsome
He's got
goes
range.
down. So does Perry. But this is an advantage coming out. Masu's in a good spot to be. So is Spyrax. Can they hold that line, though? Here comes Philip.
Yoshi no
over
TP.
on the side. Now looking to try and get this flank going. Lots of health to work with for Cincinnati Fear.
Shochi has no TP. That was really good from Philip to at least try and cut the wave while Baron wasn't on it. So this means that at least this wave they can't play off it as Spyrax.
Oh,
ooh, no,
Spyrax is the hourglass.
He's dead, he's dead.
Oh, no, no. Oh, it does go down. Faisal will grab it. Down to mid laner is going to be FlyQuest. But Cincinnati Fear, it's not the death push yet.
It could be, though. They're scared of that bot wave because Philip can TP to it if they just want to YOLO, okay? So we're going to have to see if Philip does end up sending that TP. He can't do a lot in this scenario. That's the athlete button for FlyQuest if they want to send it, but now it's going to be at least one extra turret falling. They still have supers. Philip?
They're going for a UG, tries to clutch! They're all dead! Cincinnati Fear! They're looking for the game-ending push, but Masu wants to be the stop to that. Nexus Tower number 2 falls, and the cast does its work! No mercy! Only pain! And these hands of Faisal will lay waste to FlyQuest!
Fear are making FlyQuest work for it as that game. This series has been so damn good. Each team has had a gold lead in every single game. The first two we saw match comps, similar clears, similar strategies. It's play around each of our marksmen of this handshake. This time around, FlyQuest, they go to stretch the map, the split push, what they decimated AoE with, what they decimated Wildcard with. That time, though, Fear held strong. It was the Dragon stacking early, so big from them, and they take the lead in this series.
The clash of styles, a team fight, comp one that wanted the 5v5 versus splitting the map, and we saw them both played as best as they possibly can. We saw the conditions just set up there for both squads, but ultimately it's Cincinnati Fear who are able to execute them better. We're gonna take a break. When we return, we'll have Kangas and the Rally Cry halftime show.